Hello everybody, this video is going to be just a quick introduction, educational video for the Elliott Wave Zone Projection Indicator. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So this indicator is basically what I use on a daily basis, but it's an indicator format. So essentially, there is 2 anchor points, and there's 4 different options to choose from. We're going to go through each different option. So the first one is basically going to be the Wave 2 and the Wave B option. We're going to place our anchor at the origin of Wave 1 or Wave A. So here's the origin. Then we're going to place the second anchor at the termination of A or the termination of Wave 1, which is right here. This is the first option that's presented, which is what we're doing right now. We're trying to find the zone for Wave 2 and then the zone for Wave 3. Or we're trying to find the zone for Wave B into Wave C. So this is pretty much what we're using right here as the first option. So we're just going to click apply, and it's going to graph these zones out for us. Let me take this away just to make it a little bit cleaner. And also, just to show the usage of it, let me use it in a replay function as well, just to show how it works. Let me just put this down for more clarity as well. So remember, it's an A wave or a Wave 1. And then we're retracing for a Wave 2 or a Wave B. And then we're going to extend up for a Wave 3 or a Wave C. So just for a little more clarity, here we go. Now we're going to wait for these zones to hit. And then we're going to wait for the extensions to hit as well. The extensions here are the typical zones that we see for the relative impulse that we're looking for. This is the regular Wave C targets. This is the extended Wave C targets and the regular Wave 3 targets. This is an extended Wave 3 targets. Then this is a double extension Wave 3 targets. So all these zones are highly reactive from an Elliott wave perspective, and we do expect reaction from these levels. So let's go ahead and move forward. We do see that it reacted very nicely here in our Wave 2, Wave B zone, and that was a very nice rejection right there. Now we just need to see it fall up to the upside to our Wave C and Wave 3 targets. As price continues to print, you see the indicator actually follows along with it. So that way, once it reaches these zones right here, you can see the reaction in these zones. So appearance-wise, it's following along with price action. Let's go ahead and speed it up. There we go. So we blasted right through that the Wave C target, which is almost a clear indication that we're gonna head right to the Wave C extended zone and the Wave 3 regular zone. We do get some heavy consolidation in this area, which is a key that it might be Wave C. But once we continue breaking up to the upside here, that is a clear indication that that was a Wave 3. And a Wave 3 double extension it was as well. But nearly pinged that middle level, 3.236 for the double extension. Then we get clear consolidation here. This right here is a clear sign that this Wave 3 is over, because we expanded aggressively into that zone, and we started consolidating. That's a clear end for that Wave 3. So, now we know that this is Wave 3, we're going to get rid of this, because it's no longer valid for it to be an A, B, C. It's more valid that it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're going to try to project this Wave 4. This is the second option that we have. to find the wave 4, we're going to use the beginning of wave 3, which is also the end of wave 2. And we're going to use the end of wave 3, which is also the beginning of wave 4. Now we have to click the wave 4 option, and now it's going to project our wave 4 zone right here. So just like with the other zones, these zones we're going to look for reactions for price to go off of, and this is where we're going to look for supports, especially for this wave 4. So we want wave 4 to end pretty much in this zone. This is pretty much the zone that we really look for. This is the absolute minimum, and this is always reached typically. But ideally, this is the zone that we look for. There's always chance for it to be aggressive and head to that 0.5, but ultimately, once it hits that 0.618, this is early invalidation for wave 4, meaning once it reaches this area, it's probably unlikely that this is a wave 4. So let's continue with this. Let's go ahead and fast forward price here and see how this zone reacts. Once again, as price is printing, you see the indicators moving along with price, so you can see these levels. Nice rejection right there. Now we need to see follow to the upside. This looks like a potential end for the wave 4. Once it comes back and reclaims these highs, that means wave 5 is in at this point. This looks like a potential 1. This looks like a potential 2. Now we really want to see it push to the upside for a wave 5. Okay. Looks like we're getting that. So sometimes what I do is I'll actually keep this on here just because I like seeing it on there, just for clarity wise. And I'll continue to add the next option. The next option here is the wave 5 option. We're going to use the beginning of wave 4 and the end of wave 4. These are our anchor zones for the wave 5. We're then going to click wave 5 as the option. And it's going to automatically print our wave 5 levels. This is the regular wave 5 zone. This is where a lot of wave 5s typically will finish in this area. This is our extended zone. This is where a lot of extended wave 5s will typically finish. Once again, we're going to look for your reactions off of these zones. But that looks like a 1. That looks like a 2. This looks like a 3. That looks like an expanded flat 4. Now that looks like that was a 5th wave right there. The 5th of the 5th of that 1. So this looks like a completed structure at this time, especially once it starts breaking back down below this level. This level is pretty important, meaning once it breaks beyond this, it's typically that we're in that wave 5. And once it breaks below this, then we're typically done with this wave 5. So that's why this wave 3 zone is pretty important from an LA wave perspective. But those are the options that we utilize for the impulse, because we want to try to project the zones for wave 2s and wave Bs, and wave 3s and wave Cs, and also wave 4s and wave 5s. The last option that I want to just show is going to be the flat option. Let's bring up our indicator. We're going to be looking for the zone for wave B and the zone for wave C. We're going to utilize the A wave for this. So we're going to utilize the beginning of wave A. Actually, let me do it on a different asset. Let's just switch it up. Let's do Bitcoin. We do have a flat right here that we can do, or we have that one as well, or we have this one here as well. Let's do this one. This one was a pretty clear fat that we were looking at in real time. So let's take a look at this one. So here's the A, there's the B, and there's the C. So remember, we're going to utilize the A leg to project the B and the C leg. That's what we do for flats. So we're going to use the beginning of this A leg, which is... Sorry, it's getting just kind of difficult to pull this in here. I gotta zoom in. Okay. Use the beginning of this A leg. There we go, that wick. And this wick, which is the end of the A leg. And we're gonna click the last option, which is the flat option. So here we are. We have the zones here. We have the zone for the wave B, which is pretty much, it's going to be a regular flat zone. It's going to be the expanded flat zone, or it's going to be the extended expanded flat zone. These are the three areas that are highly reactive when it comes to flats for a B wave. Then for the C wave, we have the running flat zone, the regular zone, and the extended zone. These are the areas that are highly reactive when it comes to a C wave for a flat. As you can see right here, we did a perfect running flat essentially. We came right into this zone, and then right after that, we head right back down to take the lows. That was a pretty perfect running flat. Let me see if I can find a expanded flats here. I guess we could use, well, this one's more of a running structure right here. We could actually use this one. So there's the A, there's the B, and here's the C. So once again, we're going to utilize the A leg. So here's the beginning of the A leg. Here's the end of the A leg. We'll choose the flat option. And it's going to give us the wave B zones and the wave C zones, where these typically end. Let's see how it develops. So boom. Went right to that extended expanded flat level and found perfect reaction off of it. A perfect reaction. And it starts to move to the upside. Once we break above this level, we're going to be looking for these levels here. There's always potential for a running flat. It's pretty rare, but it's something that we should always be aware of. That's why I've included this zone in the indicator. But typically, we do want to see price break above to the upside, which is what's it's doing right now. Let's go ahead and fast forward here and see where the termination of this completes. Boom. Perfect reaction right there. And then it starts to head back to the downside. So two perfect reactions right there from the expanded flat zone. We had a perfect reaction for this B leg and a perfect reaction for the C leg. So as you can see, these zones, as long as you're applying it to the LA wave structure, they are highly reactive because these are Fibonacci levels that are really reactive from an LA wave perspective. Now let's just go into the settings here. Let me bring this back. So settings wise, there's a few things here. Number one, you can increase the text size. That way it's easier for you to see. I like to keep the text minimized just because it's I just like to minimize the amount of clutter going on, minimize the chaos. but it is nice to see these levels, especially when you're getting familiar with them at first. But after you use this, you'll get very familiar with these levels. We do have a displacement indicator, so you can see where displacement is occurring and see where price is heading based off of displacement. And you have the option to change these bars as you see fit as well. I personally like having it as yellow. That's just me. There's options to measure the volume from just open to close or high to low. Personally, I do open to close because it's pretty much universal across all brokers, the open to close price. The highs and lows will always have some discrepancies. So that's why, just for consistency, I like to use open to close. Displacement length, this will see how many candles you want to look back to determine the standard deviation. And then also, if you want to have stronger displacement, meaning you only want to be aware of strong displacement, you can increase the strength of it. These levels here are basically just to customize the fib levels as you see fit. Same with this. You can customize these levels as you want, change the colors of them. You can change the lines themselves. There's a lot of different customization that you can do here. You can even take away the lines. So if you want to have a little more simplistic approach, you can take away the lines or even the zones. If you want to just be aware of it and reduce more clutter and just have these zones available, you can just be aware of the zones where you have a lot more free space for the chart. Or you can just extend the lines. Lastly, you also have the option to increase or decrease this offset. So let's do 5. Now let's do 20. 30. This is especially helpful on the lower time frames too, and especially we're going to the higher time frames. Because when you're in the higher time frames, this is going to be kind of scrunched up if you have it about 5. But if you have it about like 40 and you're on the lower time frames, then it's just going to be really, really wide off. So it's really just dependent upon the time frame that you're using, and also just to customize it as you please as well. But that's really it. Once again, we have 4 options. The first option is find the wave 2 and wave B zone, and the wave 3 and wave C. The next option is to find the wave 4 zones. The next option is to find the wave 5 zones. And the last option is to find the flat zones. However, if you have questions, you're more than welcome to message me publicly or privately. I'm happy to respond to answer any questions or to clarify anything. So just feel free to reach out. But play along with it. I'm sure you'll get really used to it. It's fairly easy to understand. But as always, just reach out if you have any questions. But hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you later.